Work hard, work smart.
We're going to kick them. We're going to be smart. We're going to work hard. We're going to be strategic and crafty. We're going to do all the things we need to win.
We are going to win. We are going to win.
Okay?
We're
It was going to be our team meet together in a community, but if not, we would together and vote somebody off.
That just seems more laughable than it did then. The teams competing against.
You know, we can always film it, like Sergey's doing here, and then we, can tell it to NBC.
I can see that happening. My spider senses are tingling.
I'm going to sit back here and beat up on you guys.
Management infiltrating. Alright. Going high tech here.
Is that it? You done? Shut the door.
Shut the door.
A couple people missing.
You're on camera.
Right. What's this?
You're on camera.
I'm on camera. All right, so here we are. We got the AGM done, right?
Yeah.
Right? That means they've agreed to everything we've asked for, right? The board has. All of the things to do with the round have been signed, agreed to. The money's in the bank. The company is rolling. We have 24 months, roughly, give or take a month, and we've lost one already. We've already burned one, to turn this into a pile of money for our investors and into a success for ourselves, okay? So we're all here, we're all in it together. We made a few layoffs, that's over with, but here we are, and we got to go forward. So I want to talk a bit today about winning, all right? Because believe it, we are in a competitive situation. This market is competitive. It's almost dead in some ways. In some ways it's just started. It's a big competition, right, Dave?
Right?
Right. we are at the start of sales cycles with what? A dozen, 2 dozen companies?
Yep.
All right. So we're competitive. We've got two competitors, including ourselves, in this market space. And so we're in a situation where we have to win. Now, who in here wants to win?
I do.
Yeah? You want to win? Believe me, losing is not what we want to do. Winning is what we want to do. And some people shy away from winning. They think, oh, geez, you win and that means somebody else loses. Bull. Right? You got one life. You got one life. And if you don't win in that life, you lose in that life. So everything you want to do, you want to win, right? So winning's important. And believe me, I've done my share of winning, right? I did a product, the ATM Net. We won. We sold it all over the world. Newbridge bought the rights. I made quite a bit of money off that. I won on that. I've also seen the other side of it. And it's ugly. Believe me. You don't want to go there. So we all want to win. So can anybody tell me what they've won at? I mean, Tim, what have you won at? Right? Give me an example, Tim. What have you won at?
I haven't had a lot of successes, really.
Did you get that contractor to finish your house?
No.
I'll give you one example that we can all, pretty much all of us in here, I think, can say we've won at. And it's one, pardon?
Technically, maybe.
Okay, what technically?
When we were at DCI, we developed a really smoking 6-channel MPEG encoder, and nobody thought we could do it.
And what happened? You
The
sold
company
it?
became went into receivership.
You succeeded in one way, right? But I'll tell you one thing most of us can remember, I think, is going through school, right? Everybody went through university. I don't know if you had the thing where they sat you down on the first day. I did, and they said, look to your left, look to your right. Only one of you will make it through here. And most of us got through school, so we must have won, right? Now what did that give you? It gave you something you had for the rest of your life. Nobody could ever take that away from you. You won. You did it. And that's the sort of thing. Once you've won and you've done it, you can't be taken away. It's with you forever. The reputation goes with you. Believe me, when I talk to people in the industry, and in the States especially, they tell me, well, I did this startup and it succeeded. I did this startup, it succeeded. I made $1 million here, I made $2 million here. We created a great company that's still going here. Oh, we lost this one, we blew that one. But you know, in general, the successes are things that stay with you your whole career and your whole life. So winning is important. I guess the next thing I want to talk about then in winning is who do we have to beat? Who's our competitors? Jag? IP Unity.
Jag.
There's one.
Jag.
Heads up, Jack.
Snowshore. Who said Snowshore? Snowshore?
Who said? No way. Get back.
So IP Unity and Snowshore. Okay. Now let's talk a bit about IP Unity and Snowshore. One of them, IP Unity, is I think they're ahead of us now. Okay. They're in the marketplace. They're into a couple of trials. However, I think they took some shortcuts to get there, so I still think we can trounce their butts. So IP Unity is one of our competitors. Let's talk about Snowshore. Snowshore is definitely a similar company to ours. Too bad they're 4 to 6 months behind us. So we got to capitalize on that. Can we beat them? You think we can? Yeah. Yeah, we can beat them, right? So there's our two major competitors, and they're both beatable. Right? But they won't get beat unless we want to win, unless we're willing to do whatever it takes to win. So that's really important. Beat those competitors. Now, how do we know if we won? Deborah, how do we know if we won? Or if we're winning? Any ideas? What are the metrics that people will judge us on?
We actually stay in our account.
Stay in our accounts? Well, getting them first. Yeah, staying in them is important. So that's definitely one
Getting in
metric.
them and staying in them and not staying in them isn't that great a judge of success.
Not a
right?
great judge of success, you're right. Getting them and keeping them is a judge. So there's one, the customers, right? Any other ideas?
Deborah.
How many
Any
other ideas?
No.
Pardon?
You see, you guys excited.
See us get what?
You guys excited.
Excited? No.
Yeah, actually, so everybody's smiling.
Sorry?
Everybody is smiling, and
So that's the success. So we're all happy, right?
Yeah.
That's a sign that we succeeded. Yeah, that's a sign. That's a result, though, really, right? That's a secondary result that we succeeded. What are the metrics? What are people going to?
Cash is coming in.
Pardon?
Cash.
Give yourself a pen. So
Thank you.
revenue, right? Revenue. That's the second thing. Are we making money? Are we making profit? That's how we're going to be judged. That's one of the things we're going to be judged on.
market share is
Feedback?
more important than money, isn't it?
Another extremely important thing.
This could be a long one.
Heads up,
Heads up, Bruce. Watch yourself.
Watch yourself. Oh, lousy throw.
I was intentional, so I didn't hurt anybody.
Market share, that's right. Are we getting the majority of the RFIs, RFPs? Do we have more customers than IP Unity or Snowshore? Market share. That's another very important thing we're going to be judged on. What's another one? Good people. John.
Me?
Yeah. Yeah, you sitting there in the corner hiding.
Market share, profit, and Costa already
Revenue,
said.
customers.
And product that works.
Oh, bonus time!
Coming from R&D, I would have hoped that would have came up sooner or later. Yes, we're going to get baked off. There's no doubt about it, right? It's already starting. Tellurize wanted to bake us off against IP Unity. We had to hold off. We're almost ready, I think, to get baked off now. That's going to happen. There's going to be industry bake-offs in the soft switch. There's going to be bake-offs in the IETF. We will get baked off. So how our product performs is going to be critical. It's going to be one of the critical factors. Okay, so now we have revenue, market share, customers, Product. What's the other key feature in our strategy that we've talked about that we haven't said here we're going to be judged by?
It starts with P.
Partnership.
Partnerships.
Back off, Jag.
Right, absolutely.
You're trying to sell these afterwards, aren't you?
Are we channeled with, you know, the little guy down the street in Vancouver, or are we channeled with Alcatel or Cisco or Nortel, right? We're going to be judged on our potential by how good the partners are and the channels are that we've managed to get into. And so that's another one. There's one more that comes to mind for me that'll be a judge of how well we've managed to do in this. Anybody tell me what it is?
People.
Back here?
I was going to say the same thing, support.
No.
Go public.
Well, support, how can you?
Turnaround time for support.
Go public is the end of it. The initial part is investors, right? If people are willing to put their money into this company, it means we've succeeded. So the end result is an IPO or an acquisition, or we might have to do another round of investment. We might have to do a mezzanine round, they call it, which is a round just before you go to IPO. You fill the coffers up, make sure you got enough money to last, builds the value of the company even more, makes you more attractive. So that's another possibility, but the key will be who is willing to put their money into us. Right now, there's a lot of people who would like to. Think they missed the boat. And there's a lot of people after the fact saying, gee, I wish I had invested like Mayfield and Ventures West. They're out of luck. But down the road, in a year or so, a year and a half, that'll be the measure. How many people are willing to take their money out of their pocket, put it on the table, and let us scoop it up and take it away. So that's the ones I had thought of. Revenue, customers, and partners, channels, product, and investment. Those are the sort of measuring sticks. So we're going to track some of these things and just see how we're doing. Some of them won't come into play for a while, so they're pretty irrelevant right now. But some of them are very critical now. The product, the channels, getting customers. Those are the important ones right now. Revenue will come a little later. Investment will come much later. Okay? So, next thing. How can we ensure that we're going to win? What are the things we can do personally to ensure that we're going to win? Okay, Mary Ann, give me an example. What's something we can do to ensure that we're going to win? Nothing's guaranteed in life, but...
Well, I think we all understand each our role, and then how we fit with the rest of the people in the organization relative to our role, and do an excellent job at that, then that's a very good step.
So our role and how it interacts with the other people in the company. Never, ever do I want to hear somebody say, I did my job, that's the end of it. Bullshit. We're a group, we're a team, we've got to work together. You've got to make sure what you're doing helps the other guy to succeed as well, all right? Remember that, it's critical. All right, what else? Anybody else? Another way we can ensure that we're going to be successful. Albert, give me a...
Better product.
Better product. There we go. We got to be better than the other guys. So what does that mean? It means we have to be smart when we're designing it. We have to be good at designing it, and we have to be fast at designing it. So the old saying, you got to get good before you get fast. Good. We're almost to the point, I think, where we're getting good as a company developing products. We've been through some hiccups. We all know that, but we're getting good. We still haven't got fast. That's the next step. Is we got to have faster delivery than the other guys, right? That doesn't mean that it doesn't mean you go nuts and absolutely, work 24 hours a day. What it means is we have to create processes and procedures and work together well so that we put things out quicker than the other guy. Do you know that we have a big advantage here? And the big advantage in Canada is that our burn rate is lower. We can do a lot more with money than a same company in the U.S. So what that boils down to is we're not going to hire tons more people, but we can do things like buy tools, we can do things like buy stacks, so we can use the money a lot smarter. So while, for example, I'm already hearing that And the other thing is, we've been given a big advantage. We've been given all our money by our venture capitalists. Apparently, IP Unity and Snowshore are being bled their money out a bit at a time, depending on meeting milestones. We have a big advantage. So again, you know, we as a company have an advantage. So what other things can we do as individuals to make sure that we win?
Provide world-class support.
Support's another definite area.
Dave.
Keep our customers happy, right? And once we get the customers, we've got to keep them happy. Mary Ann's been manning the attack desk, I think, for a month now. We've got to get some support for that. But so that's another thing. You're absolutely right, Dave. We got to support them. We got to always put our best face out to our customers, right? It doesn't matter if they're pissing us off. It doesn't matter if they're being pains in the ass. It doesn't matter if they've called us 50 times that day. You've got to be positive with them. I remember we had an individual in the last company I was with, technically great, seemed like really good. We got him out in the field, and he got all snarky and mad at the customer and walked away. Next thing you know, we weren't working with that customer. We lost them, right? You can't do that, no matter how bad the customer is, or your partners, or your suppliers. These things always come back to you. The positive comes back to you, and the negative comes back to you. So you always want to be positive. You know, you can shut someone down in a positive way. You don't have to be negative about it. Any other ideas?
Meeting deadlines and obligations.
Perfect. There's another one, right? Customers
Mike.
expect things, partners expect things at certain times. We make commitments, we've got to deliver it. It's a simple thing, right? But we all know what's tough behind that, all the work behind it. But it means going that extra mile, working that extra hour, maybe coming in on the weekend for a morning, whatever it takes to get the job done. We're all professionals, right? We all have to act like professionals. Professionals work to get a job done, and that's what we all have to be. So I do that, everybody does that. There's nobody that doesn't. Paul, what's another thing that we have to do as individuals to win here?
Higher quality, get things right first time rather than iterate to do things.
Okay, so what was it?
Quality.
Quality.
Yeah.
Create quality things. Strive for the highest quality we can do, no matter how tough it is. That's another thing. So striving for quality. Delivering quality. All right, so that's another good one.
Quality
All
tribe.
right, what else? So I can think of another couple of things that we should add into. What can we personally do to make this thing successful? What are they? What is that? Strategies, right. Whenever you go to do something like a new project or a new development or even a piece of the code that you're working on, think a bit first about the strategy of how you're going to do it, and do it right, do it correctly, do it the best you can do it. And that's very important, to just take that pause and think in your mind strategically how you're going to do this. Okay, because if you just charge in and go ahead at it, usually you end up having to redo it or rethink it, or somebody else has to help you. If you take a bit of time on the front, and this goes right from my level right down to whoever, right? Everybody should just take a little bit of pause to think strategically how they're going to do things, because that's how you do it the best, right? If you don't take that pause, a lot of times you won't do it the best. As I say, the old saying, you get good, then you get fast. Because once you've done this a while and get good at it, then you'll be able to do it quicker, do the process quicker. So that was the last one, I think. Oh, the other one I had put down was our contacts. And this goes throughout the whole company. If you're talking to your friends in other companies, if you're talking to your vendor partners delivering chips, always promote the company, right? Promote. We got a great company here. We're going to dominate this space. You know, that's the sort of thing. You should be always saying that, always projecting that. We project it at our level to everybody we talk to. You You know, everybody should be doing this in their own sphere of influence. Again, it's being positive. So that was the ones I had picked out. Yep. Marianne?
So, this happens a lot in high-tech industry, not just here, but in other companies too, and that is often afraid to ask for help from other people, so, or verify our
true.
work, or get somebody to look over our work, because we don't, we're, you know, a little bit.
Not sure, or,
Not
yeah.
sure, whatever.
Rushed a
So
little, maybe,
the idea
whatever.
is that we should
Yeah.
look to our teammates to ask for, to look over something if we're not sure about it.
Absolutely. That's
I do it all
very
the
true.
time, a lot of us do it at, because the exec level, we're always.
And what you're
asking
doing
each
there
other.
is you're making sure that what you're going to deliver will be the best again,
Right.
right? And that's another way to help you do it. Because let's face it, you know, we all haven't done everything before. So you get a new task, maybe it's something you've never done. Don't be afraid to ask somebody. It's better to ask up front or when you hit the problem than it is to hide it or put it aside and at the end of the day deliver something that's crap. You gotta make sure, you know, we're all humans, so you gotta make sure up front you recognize that and ask somebody else. Ask an expert, ask your team leader, ask your friend, whatever. So that's a really good point. I agree. So the next question.
I've got another really good one,
Yep,
actually.
okay, go.
Just keeping ROI in mind when you're making decisions.
Absolutely. As managers, as decision makers, even as buying components or designing in components and things or software packages, you should be always thinking about that. What gives us the best return on the investment we're making, or even your time as well, right? And that's managing your time. Making sure that if you have 4 tasks to do, you're doing the most important one first and leaving the lesser ones to second and third and fourth. Don't take the easy path. Do the simple ones just because they're quick to do, like we all do. But don't do that. Do it as little as you can. Try to hit the important ones. That's the basic essence of time management. If you've ever taken a time management course, you're supposed to prioritize your tasks and hit the highest priority ones first. That's essentially, I just saved you 2 days of time management. You know, that's what it boils down to. Okay, so the last thing I was going to talk about was compensation. Okay, we've all worked hard, we've all done our bit. How do we get compensated for this? Because we all want to make money. We all want to make sure that we're getting our fair share of the pie. So, salary, right? We're all paid a good salary. In my view, salary is for you to work from 9 to 5. That's why you get your salary. Do your job, meet your objectives, and work 9 to 5, right? If that's all if that's it, you know, if you're not going to put any more effort in, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a salary, right? Now, I don't think any of us really have that mentality that this is a hourly job and I come in, punch the clock, and then, oh, gee, it's 4 o'clock, time to go. Oh, it's 11:30, it's lunchtime, got to go for half an hour. We're professionals. You get the job done, right? If that means working extra, you get the job done, okay? So salary is the first part of our compensation for everybody. We all get paid a fair salary. None of us are working out of a garage. I've worked out of a garage and things, and you don't get any money. 0. Your salary is 0, right? And if you look at the hours a lot of us work, our salary is $2 an hour maybe if you add it all up and spread it over. So salary isn't the issue, but salary is important for all of us. I have a mortgage, I'm sure a lot of people have payments on cars or whatever. Salary is critical to making sure you can do those things and live a good life and support your family. The next thing is stock options. Stock options are your equity in this company, and they're paid out for your sweat. They're paid in lieu of your sweat. So you make your sweat in a standard startup. You'd start in a garage, you'd make no money for the first year or two. You might get bought and everybody'd make $500,000. Stock options are the equivalent of sweat equity. It's how a company like this pays you for your extra work, your extra hard work, your work above and beyond. Those things are paid for with stock options. That's why I grant them out. I look at every person when I do that, and I try to judge their contribution to the company. And I work with the managers, and I talk to peers, and I try to figure out, you know, what people's contribution are above and beyond their salary. That's what the stock options are for, sweat equity. Typically in any company, I look on as there's 3 basic contributors. There's the investors that put their cash in, there's the employees that put their sweat in, and then there's the board that puts their management and contact talents in. And those are the three that I, as the CEO, have to deal with all the time. I have to make sure the investors know what we're doing and we're hitting the milestones. I have to make sure the board, I answer to the board, and indirectly in this company, the investors are the board. So it's very tightly coupled there. In public companies, that's not true, but in a private company like this, it's true. And then the third thing is the employees. We put our share of sweat equity into it. We don't have big cash to put in, so what we put in is our sweat equity to get back our percentage of this company when it either goes public or gets purchased or acquired. So the options are our sweat equity payback. And the last thing is bonuses. And we sort of suspended the bonus plan, but we started to give out some ad hoc bonuses. And I'm a strong believer in ad hoc bonuses. So you do something great, boom, you get $1,000 or $500 or dinner for two or whatever it is. You go to a hockey game, whatever. I'm also an advocate of setting bonuses up to match projects that are accelerated, right? So for example, we want to deliver redundancy in March. Can we do that? It's probably not possible. But if we wanted to accelerate a project, we may put a bonus structure into that project, and that bonus structure will be for each individual meeting their milestones in that project, as well as the whole project meeting its goals. So that's how we'll do some bonuses going forward. Now that means that we may not be doing bonuses on every release. We'll only be doing them if we need to accelerate it. We still will be doing ad hoc things. We'll take groups out for beers. I think Alvin and the whole team's going out for beers after this. I think that's great. I think we've gotten to the point with the release where we're getting there. We're close. We're pretty good quality now. We've met the criteria that we set up for that first part of the release. We still got a ways to go. Let's face it. But we've gotten far enough that we should go out and do a bit of celebration. So we'll still do ad hoc group bonuses, ad hoc single bonuses, and we'll set up structures for some of the releases depending on how accelerated and critical they are. So I'm not guaranteeing that we do that all across the board. It's really reserved for those times when we've got to really push hard. And then the other thing we're going to do with compensation is we're going to move everybody's performance appraisal till the fiscal year end of the company. And there's a reason for that. We're now in the big leagues. Yeah? Before we were funded by Terror, a little Canadian company. Now we're funded by a big U.S. venture capitalist. Do you know, I was told by 5 people at the Mayfield event Monday, Tuesday, that we're considered one of their marquee companies. And this is the 5th largest VC in the U.S. So we're in the spotlight now. And because of that, we're expected to perform. And one of the ways we're going to be judged is at the end of the year, we're going to look at everybody's performance and the company's performance. That's a new factor that we didn't have before. Before in performance appraisals, we looked at your personal performance, and that's all we judged your PA on. Now, your PA will be judged on, sorry, not your PA, your compensation will be judged on your PA results as well as how the company did. Now, the percentage of that, I still haven't decided. I personally believe will still be a large percent on your personal performance and some percent on the company's. But that will change as we get further into the sales process and the revenue process. Our investors will expect us to perform, and they'll compensate us on whether we succeeded. It's not good enough just to say we tried hard and we didn't make it. We've got to succeed. That's the win-win-win thing again. So, just to recap there, again. So, who's our competitors? Come on.
Snow Shore.
All right. What's the next one? How are we gonna win?
We're gonna kick ass.
Yeah.
Work hard, work smart.
We're gonna kick them. We're gonna be smart. We're gonna work hard. We're gonna be strategic and crafty. We're gonna do all the things we need to win. Right? Be judged on revenue. Be judged on product, we're going to be judged on customers, the quality of the customers, not just that we have 100, but we have the top 100, and be judged on what else did I say, investment, partners, right? So that's what we're going to be judged on. And I guess the last thing is, repeat after me. We are going to win. 1, 2, 3.
We are going to win.
We are going to win. Okay?
We're
Go.
What's involved in the bake-off?
Pardon?
What's involved in the bake-off?
No, I don't even know if there is one yet, but there will be.
So what do they take, like an application server?
They take our product, they take their product, they take their product, they say, what MGCP, how is your MGCP perform? How fast is it? How many commands per second? What features?
how usable is it? How cost effective?
This is not working. Alright, we're gonna have our own little.
We're gonna try this again.
We're gonna try this again.
Actually, if you guys put a gap between all the tables, then everyone can fit around. Instead of putting them all together.
2 rows?
Like
Arranging it like the lab or something? Okay. 2 rows.